Last time on Ace Attorney Investigations 2.
Is it true, Miss Pharmacist? Oh my god, we have the same exact voice. Isn't this amazing? I know it's amazing.
Hey guys, Raiden here, and if you remember last episode I was talking about having a new recording setup, well, I didn't realize that everything on my computer reset. So, for the majority of this video, the in-game audio isn't there, so I just kind of plopped on top a bunch of Ace Attorney music. It's not really gonna fit, but it's the best I can do. Sorry about that, it's my fault. Enjoy the video, or at least I hope you can.
Hey guys, Raiden here, and welcome back to Edgeworth Investigations 2. So, last episode's pretty interesting. I did notice, because the reason I thought this game was going to take so long, especially, is because a lot of people told me there's a lot of parts to each case. Like, for example, apparently this case is like 8 or 9 parts, but some of the parts are much shorter than others. Like, I think I'm talking about the to be continued screen is because, like, I think one of the ones we just hit was like 20 minutes long. So I was kind of worried. I'm like, oh my god, every one of these is gonna be an hour. It's gonna take forever. And that's what dreads me the most, is when a case takes too long. I think it's okay for the final case, but when it's the middle case, it can really drone on and kind of like push you away from the game. And I'm not quite at that point yet, although I am just annoyed because I've had to take so much time away from recording and all of this, and my schedule for this month is horrible, especially trying to fit in YouTube, but I'm really still enjoying it, don't get me wrong, just because I'm not, like, posting or anything. It's just time restrictions. It's not having to do with my enjoyment or anything of that sort. So without further ado, let's continue. I can't even describe how weird it is to not talk for a while and just start talking again. Like, I haven't done proper commentary in over, like, a week. What the hell? Is she the lawyer now? Is that what we're going towards? Oh no, we're just here with her. Huh? What are you doing here, Kate?
Oh, Monsieur Shields. And Monsieur Edgeworth. Allow me to apologize once again for all the trouble I caused you yesterday.
Miss Hall looks a bit tired. Has Von Karma finished interrogating you?
Yes, aside from what happened to the ice sculpture, I was not at fault for anything else.
Are you also here to meet Master Jeff, Kate?
Yes, I'm worried about how he is holding up.
Oh, I was expecting someone to come through the door and be like, he's dead! There's a third dead body! Detective Bad, why are you here? I just happened to be here. I'll be heading to the crime scene soon.
I don't think this is a place that people happen to be, though.
What happened to his... What, did they interrogate him or something? Hello? Master Jeff, what happened to you?
Oh no, Monsieur Master, why do you look so poor?
I didn't get much sleep last night. The tribulation known as questioning was rather harsh. I'm just a little exhausted. They didn't let you sleep? Even for an interrogation, that's going too far, Detective Bad. The detective in charge of the initial investigation was also in charge of the interrogation. I don't like Von Karma's methods, but this is all I could do. He was the one who brought me here. It seems I was supposed to be interrogated for a little bit longer, though. It seems that Detective Bad is looking out for Mr. Master in his own way. I thought he was gonna come out and be like, I'm addicted to sweets, man, just give me something, I can't take sugar-free anymore, and he just starts, like, clawing at the wall and eating, like, the wallpaper off the wall, and Detective Bad's like, no, that's not candy, stop that, you're gonna poison yourself. And he's like, poison is way better than no sugar. So shall we inform Mr. Master about what happened yesterday, Raymond? Yes, sir, I got all my memos right here. I almost just read that as memes. I got all my memes right in this notebook. Even though this obviously doesn't exist at this point in time. Mr. Master, we would like to inform you about yesterday's investigation. Yes, thank you very much. Please go ahead. Master Jeff, it's almost like your spirit's gone. Oh, my sugar... Oh, I knew that was gonna be it. My sugar levels are low, so I might not seem like my usual energetic self.
Monsieur Master.
I'm getting so tired of saying that already. Do we have anything that can give his spirit and his glucose a boost? Detective Bad, can't you give him a lollipop? Do I have anything? Here, eat this rock salt lamp covered in blood. I could give him the chocolates, so I have those. Oh, those chocolates. Are you giving them to me? Oh, those chocolates are... If possible, I would like to give them to you immediately. But it's against the rules to give anything to the suspects in the detention center, even though there's a window for us to do so right there. I see. Regrettably, if those are the rules, then there's nothing we can do about it. But not if I give them to Bad and he gives them to you. Are you sure there's no way we can give them to him? Detective Bad looks like he noticed what we're trying to ask of him. Ugh. I'll inspect the chocolates, and if there are no problems, I'll think about it. Detective Bad, thank you very much. I love how sweet Bad is on the inside. Like, he's one of my favorite characters to come out of investigations. Like, I liked Lang a lot, too, and Bad. Alright, I knew we could count on you, Detective Bad. I am truly in your debt. Wait right here. Take it. Oh, I expected him to come back with, like, the chocolate smeared all over his face like they mysteriously disappeared. Must have been that, anti-chocolate monster we've been hunting for days. Thank you very much. Oh, wow, that was a weird voice. Not a word to anyone else. It would cause problems for me later. Yes, of course. I apologize for making you go through so much trouble. Now I shall partake in eating these delicious delights at once. I'm sorry for asking you to do something so dangerous, Detective Bad. I only did what I wanted to do. Why can't you just be honest here, Detective? Oh, how sweet. It's like I've come back to life. Ho ho, did Kate make these chocolates? Yes, I did. How does it taste? I recognize the taste because it was horrible. Never mind. I'm gonna break out into song now. I want to sing along, but I'm having too much fun just staring at the sprites. Melting in my mouth. So sweet, so divine. Sorry, I was so busy laughing I couldn't read the first line. Thank you for the tasty treat. Oh, there have been a shape. Oh my god. You know I was talking about him having a Hector voice earlier? He even says oh ho, too. But so sweet and delicious, thank you. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. And above all, it helped you regain your spirit, but your hair's still white. Wait, was his hair white before? Has it been that long since I played the game that I forgot what color his hair was? Really? Thank you for your concern. The food they serve here has been absolutely tasteless. And combined with a lack of sleep, I was thoroughly exhausted. Is the food here that bad? Just salt, beef, and stew, your average prison fare. It's not that bad. That is odd. I really could not taste anything. Whatever. I'm about to head out to the crime scene. Please wait, Detective Bad. Can you give us any new information? Yeah, I think I can. We've identified the victim. Just as you said, Isaac Dover was a sculptor who worked in France. Well, I know that, Detective Bad. Any useful information? It seems he went by the name Pierre Hoquet. Isaac Dover was Pierre Hoquet. How could that be? Monsieur Pierre Hoquet. So, Pierre Hoquet wasn't actually French, huh? Which is likely why he never showed himself in public while he worked under that name. Wait! I'm sorry, I totally, like, no offense to any French viewers or anything, but I totally took that statement out of context. He's like, so he's French, huh? And then Gregory's like, yeah, that's why he's a coward. Like, that's what I thought he was implying for a second. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel bad for even thinking that way, but that's what I thought he was saying. The Zodiac sculptures, they were his masterpieces, it seems. Although they will remain forever unfinished. Unfinished, even though they were his masterpieces? It seems he worked on them last season. Once he finished the remaining winter constellations, his work would be done.
Huh? The winter constellations are Taurus and Gemini, right?
So those ice sculptures were his final pieces.
It's heartbreaking that they melted.
I cannot apologize enough.
No, I wasn't blaming you or anything.
Also, Dover was infamous for being greedy. He would charge hundreds of thousands just to make a single sculpture. It seemed like he always had money troubles. The murder might be related to that, but it's still under investigation.
So he had money problems even though he was a famous artist?
Do you know why he entered the dessert contest? Not yet. He kept it a secret, even from his family.
You've had your hand on your gun the whole time we've been talking. I guess it's not really a gun since your hand mirror, but I like to imagine it's a gun and a hand mirror and he's choosing between them.
I see. It's time. I'm bringing in the replacement guard. I can't hang around here any longer than I have. Yes, I understand. Let's meet again later. That detective is a kind soul. Indeed, he never strays from his own beliefs. He truly has a strong will. Sorry guys if my voice sounds kind of bad. I think I'm starting to get a not good cold. Just after I came back to the channel too, it's gonna suck. He truly has a strong will.
But he's pretty scary when you first meet him.
I see. Could you tell me everything that happened yesterday? Of course. Allow me to give you a report of our investigation. So this is what happened. I'm sorry for the trouble Kate has caused you.
I'm truly very sorry.
You have no need to worry so long as you have told the truth, Miss Hall. Mr. Master, would you mind if I asked you a few questions as well? Yes, I shall divulge all that I know. I was hoping by presenting him the chocolate that I was going to be able to skip out on every single dialogue option, therefore moving forward the plot as fast as possible. But, I think what would have happened if I didn't give him the chocolate is he would have maybe, like, lolled around instead of answering my questions properly. So now we can question him properly, I guess, if you failed to realize what you had to do. Please tell us about the other 3 contestants in the final round of your contest. Let's see. Miss Delicious Desserts had a fantastic design. However, she broke the rules, so I could not recognize her as the winner. Up until the semi-finals, Mr. Gustavia's flavors and designs were to my liking. Unfortunately, both the taste and appearance of his finals entry left much to be desired. And there was something strange about his dessert in the semi-finals. Something strange. Both Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover's desserts had the exact same taste. They had different designs, but in terms of taste, it was like eating the same thing. What did they look like? Oh, there should be a picture of them at my mansion.
Please allow me to show you later.
Certainly. Thank you very much. And then there was Mr. Dover's sherbet sculptures. Oh, they were absolutely heavenly. Did you have a chance to taste his creations? If I recall correctly, his body was discovered in the middle of judging. Yes, but I was not informed of this until after the judging had finished. Since he was not present in the room, I helped myself to a piece of his edible lyre. It was He ate the lyre? It was fantastically delicious. I was so moved I broke into song. Wait a moment, please. Did you say the lyre was delicious? Could you please give us a little more detail about that? He ate it. You ate the lyre from the sculpture in Mr. Dover's room, correct? Yes, the one that was in the same glass case as the Gemini sculpture. Please have a look at this picture, Mr. Master. Did you eat from this lyre that's missing strings? Yes, that lyre originally had strings. However, I ate them all, resulting in what you see here in this picture. So the strings on the lyre were missing because he ate them. Actually, Delicia ate part of the same lyre that you did. However, she said that it was so salty that she could not eat it. You don't say. That means there might be a problem with my sense of taste after all. A problem with your sense of taste? How so? There's a taste disorder called hypogeusia. It's a real thing, in which you lose the ability to taste salt. Oh, that must be the worst. Perhaps I have contracted this illness. Like, I can't taste salt unless there's a ton of it on something, in which case it's already too late, and I never add salt to anything, but I just never realized it since I eat nothing but sweets. However, I now know with certainty. So that's why I couldn't tell what the food they served here tasted like.
No, for a pastry chef to lose their sense of taste is fatal.
Even if there is a treatment for taste impairments, there isn't a cure for it yet. It's probably best that you let the police know so that you can receive a medical examination. No, that won't be necessary. There is a recipe in my mansion specifically for making the cure. What? A recipe for a drug that will cure your taste impairment? Yes, please look for it later when you return to the mansion.
Monsieur Master, but that means revealing the...
Kate, you should no longer conceal it from Mr. Gregory.
Yes, sir, I understand. If that is what you wish.
A recipe for a special drug, just what are they hiding? This gets like more... Like, any normal detective would be like, oh my goodness, they're doing some drug trafficking stuff. Because they're working with a drug no one has heard of before, apparently.
Well then, I must be returning to my mansion, so I will take my leave.
Yes, we'll be heading there later as well. Kate?
What is it, Monsieur Master?
You should not live for my sake. You should reconsider your lifestyle, so that you can live by yourself, even if I were no longer around.
But please do not say things like that. I simply cannot live without you, Monsieur Master.
I'm getting so tired of saying that.
I promise to wait for you until you return. Excuse me.
Kate. Catherine.
Master Jeff, Kate was crying. Why did you say something so cruel?
I am worried about her. Catherine always puts me before herself. What do you mean? She collects Pierre Hoquet's works and makes sweets. All to make me happy, nothing more. That is the only reason she does anything. She always puts aside her own preferences and things like that. She wants to do herself. I want Catherine to choose to live her own life. I do not want her to waste her valuable life because of me. Is that so? He thinks of Miss Hall as his own daughter. And he would want his children to choose their own path in life. And a parent who would do anything to protect their own children. That feeling, I also know it well. Well, that should do it for the questions. I must return to the scene of the crime. Ah, it's already time to leave, I see. So will my tribulations of questioning resume? We should take measures against their interrogations from our side as well. Can you ask the police about that? I can, but I have other ways in mind as well. When the time comes... Ho ho, you are a dependable man. I shall be counting on you. Master Jeff, we'll come here every day with reports of our progress. We'll bring Kate too. Yes, thank you very much. I shall be looking forward to it. Mr. Master, know that the police will be attempting to get you to confess. I'm really sorry to ask an innocent soul like yourself to bear with these painful experiences. But please hold on for now. If you confess, I am positive that Von Karma will use that to his advantage. And that will make helping you all the much more difficult. I understand. I shall do my best. If you believe in me until the bitter end, I will definitely get you out of here. Okay. That's it, I guess. December 25th, 11:03 a.m. Where Bad is just standing around staring at something. A notepad, I guess, or a photo. Detective Bad, thank you for helping us earlier. Yes, thank you! I'm always imitating him. Thanks for what? Huh.
There's no need to be shy about it.
Enough about that. I suppose you intend to investigate today, too.
Of course, we still need more information to prove Mr. Master's innocence.
I'm sorry, but apart from this patio, you're not allowed to investigate anywhere else.
What? So you're saying we can't investigate?
I just realized my what with Ray and my what with the best sound nearly exactly the same. I'm guessing this is Von Karma's doing. Yeah. But Von Karma's a bit on edge at the moment. He still hasn't received the autopsy report. Moreover, the only ones in this mansion are Miss Hull and the police. So don't get your hopes up on speaking with the people connected to this case.
Von Karma's being completely unreasonable. He's gone too far.
Detective Bad, what do you intend to do? I promised I would do anything I can to assist you. You have my thanks.
I won't let any of Von Karma's dirty tricks get the best of us. Detective Bad, is it alright if we investigate the fountain patio?
Yeah, but we've already finished checking everything. Except for the fountain.
That's fine, as long as there is still something, I shall continue investigating. Woo! Begin investigation. Okay then, I guess we'll just walk around and do whatever. Piano. Seems these musical instruments were used in piece of cake. Of course, these probably aren't made of candy. Detective Bad looks somewhat disappointed. Where do I even go? What is in this room anyway? It's the elevator, right? Where does this elevator go?
The second floor. Master and Hall's quarters. Apparently on their days off, Master makes candy and holds tea parties upstairs. But if it's a nice day, they probably have it in the gardens or something. That sounds nice. I'd like an invite when the case is over. Would you like to come too, Detective Bad? You're wasting your breath. I don't fraternize with attorneys.
Okay, Bad, I getcha. Oh, hey, Kate.
Miss Hull, I've come to investigate today.
Oh, Monsieur Edgeworth, I apologize for my disgraceful behavior earlier. No, it's okay, just chill out. Kate, she still looks a bit down.
What Master said earlier must have been a real shock to her.
I prepared the photo I took of the desserts during the semifinals. Please take a look. Whoa, those are fancy. They don't even look edible. Wow, Delicia's cake is so cute. Monsieur Master also praised the design of Delicia's work very highly. Monsieur Gustavia and Dover's works gained high praise for both taste and design, but Monsieur Master said it felt like he was eating the same exact thing twice. But it seems that their desserts had completely different tastes for the finals.
Was there anything else that was different between the finals and the semifinals?
It's nothing major, but there was something. During the contest, Monsieur Gustavia's son also came to see him, but there was no sign of him at the finals.
His son came to visit.
I wonder if there's any significance behind that.
Would you mind leaving this photo with me?
Certainly. Anything to aid the investigation. And here's the recipe book that also contains a special drug for curing taste disorders.
That cover looks from... Oh, it's the same thing that's in the painting. Wasn't this framed in Master's room?
Since it's also the prize for the contest, we put it on display.
So the contest prize, Angel's recipe, wasn't just a recipe for desserts?
That's right, we've informed the participants, but it seems that you all don't know yet.
So the participants knew about the true contents of the Angel's recipe. Ooh, this could come into some motives later. I'm still having trouble piecing all this together. I feel like I'm getting more and more evidence without getting any closer.
Miss Hall, please tell me all you know about the Angel's recipe. So the Angel's recipe contains the formula for the drug. Yes, it is a recipe book for new drugs that haven't been released to the public yet. I mean, I'm not sure if any of them are legal, but since no one knows about them, then I guess they can't be illegal, right? If it's sold to a pharmaceutical company, I'm sure it would fetch a substantial price. Why is something like that a prize in the contest? Monsieur Master is the only heir to the chairman of the Master Group. Master Group? That name sounds familiar. They're a pharmaceutical company who deal in a wide range of products. Oh, they became big in the news recently with the release of Cold Killer X. I often use Cold Killer products. Oh man, I need that right now. But I've never once seen you with a cold. I would like to hear more about the Master Group. Wow, geez, a lot of information. Did Mr. Master not want to follow in his parents' footsteps? Monsieur Master wanted to bring joy to people with his desserts. His parents also wanted him to become a great pastry chef and supported him. When his parents died, the recipe book was left to him as his inheritance. Why would he give away a memento of his parents as a prize in the contest? Gotta get that money somehow. There were always people who were after it, something which troubled Monsieur Master. But just giving away a memento would have been disrespectful to his parents. So he decided to pass it over to someone he acknowledged. And the members of the Master Group approved of that? The information about the new drugs being passed on to outsiders? Of course they objected. That's why Delicia participated in the contest. On the order of the Master Group, she was requested to win a championship. Oh, well. That's some news. You knew Delicia's true identity from the start? Yes. In order for her to win, I told her Monsieur Master's tastes and preferences. Why did you help her? I helped her in order to protect Monsieur Master and the Master Group. If the drug recipes were given to another company, he would be reprimanded by the board. I wanted to return the recipes to the company in a way that Monsieur Master would accept. So it was due to Miss Hall's help that Delicia was able to reach the finals. Speaking of which, Mr. Dover wasn't a pastry chef either. He sure did well to make it to the finals, considering he's just a sculptor. Yes, for him to be able to make such fine desserts despite being a sculptor. From the sherbet sculptures he made for the finals, it's clear that he has great talent, but could he really have made that by himself? That is all I know. Is there anything else I can do to help? To save Mr. Master, she's trying to help as much as she can. May we perhaps have some more of that tea from yesterday, please, Miss Hall? I'm sure that would help us get on with the investigation. Yeah, I'd like some of Kate's tea too. Right, I understood. Aw, Gregory's so thoughtful. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, by the way, I wanted to check this a little bit ago. How old are all these characters? Because it usually says their age. Okay, Raymond's 18 and working part-time at a law office, which means, I mean, I guess he'd have to be going to school alongside this for law, but still kind of weird. Isaac Dover was 38. How old is Master? 39. Catherine is just 16? Gee, she looks way older than that. Like, I don't know, in my eyes, she looked older than Ray. And Bat's 42. Eagle-eyed homicide detective in charge of this case, the strong, silent type. How old is Von Karma? 49. Wow. Age, question mark, question mark. Gender, possibly reptilian, unclear. Kate looks a bit better now. Well, I'm glad I could cheer her up, but is that a liar over here? Seen some musical instruments that were... Oh, yep, we already went through this. What about you? What are you investigating exactly? Sir, I'm testing the water in the fountain for foreign matter, sir. Have you found anything? It seems there's both chocolate and sherbet mixed in with the fountain water. It matches the chocolate from Jeff Master's room. And the sherbet that melts in Isaac Dover's room. They all share the same composition. The fountain water circulates through the streams that flow from each of the 4 rooms. Perhaps the melted sherbet flowed into the fountain. Also, someone's blood was detected as well. What are you saying? How could there have been blood in the fountain? Detective Bad, please think back to our investigation of the crime scene. Detective Bad, please look at the crime scene carefully once more. The blood stain that should have remained at the crime scene has disappeared. Oh, that's right, because they took out that piece at the bottom of the treasure chest. That also puts implications for the future case in which Edgeworth is doing that the chemicals could be transported from room to room, although there's so much water that it would seem improbable for a high dose to hit a specific person, or even be potent enough to hit one person enough to kill them or do anything like that, so I don't have much faith in that. I definitely didn't get any reports about the blood stain being cleaned up. The blood disappeared from the crime scene. Also, part of the treasure chest was missing too. Perhaps the blood in the fountain belongs to this person. Isaac Dover? The victim. Let's run a comparison with the blood on the murder weapon. It's a match. That was fast, especially for this time. Like, I don't know if forensics teams would just bring the blood testing kits with them. Well, I guess they have both sets of blood with them, so it wouldn't take that long. It's a match. The blood in the fountain is Dover's. I wonder why the criminal spilled the victim's blood into the fountain. That's a good question, Greg. How many pieces of evidence are you going to give me? Oh, it's over, thank God. We've gathered information about all the contestants. And yet we still haven't heard Gustavia's side of the story. Yeah, he's been really out of the way in both cases at the moment. That reminds me. Why did you enter Mr. Dover's room, Mr. Gustavia? Oh, well, that is because... And Von Karma was like, no talkie-talkie. No, that's a bad man. And then Gregory was like, what exactly is he doing in Dover's room? And moreover, something is odd about his semi-final entry. A pastry chef bad at design and a sculptor skilled at only designing. It would have been extremely difficult for either of them to win the contest alone. Could it be that Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover connection is... Detective Bad, we have reason to suspect the actions of Dane Gustavia. Yeah. It's imperative that we find a way to contact him at once. Oh? This conversation is most interesting. Is Larry back again? Please don't tell me. Oh, no. Oh, you know what? No, this is better than Larry. However, I will not allow you to speak with Mr. Gustavia. Von Karma. I have already conducted my interrogation of him. It is not necessary for him to speak any further, especially to a mere defense attorney. Tss. But I will answer your question in that fool's place. I just came to that stressful realization that the audio hadn't been recording this entire time. And if I just decide to post this with generic Ace Attorney music behind it, I apologize, but like... This is the same exact thing that happened in Edgeworth 1. I don't know what it is about Ace Attorney games, but more than anything else, they're just cursed. I have had more problems recording Ace Attorney games than I have ever had before, and it's not even because of the game itself. I don't know, it's just like, I had an issue with Apollo, I had a huge issue with Edgeworth 1, and now I've had this kind of scenario with Edgeworth 2, so I guess it's just the kind of curse that carries along with Ace Attorney. I understand, in that case I have but one thing to ask you. Yes. I would like to know the relationship between Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover. Their connection. Gustavia and Dover's relationship. It's obvious the only relationship they had was that they happened to participate in the same contest. Wait, was that his entire testimony? It's like the shortest testimony ever. Even Gregory's just like, that's it. There was nothing more to say. What? How are we supposed to understand anything from so little? If we want Von Karma to divulge the truth, we have no choice but to present evidence. It's all too obvious that he's hiding something. If I don't say anything, you can't beat my testimony. Wait, so between who and who? Gustavia and Dover. Yeah, I would present the semi-final desserts, wouldn't I? Gustavia and Dover's desserts had different designs, but tasted exactly the same.
Objection!
Which he didn't know, because he couldn't have tasted them, because he'd be like, sweets are unbecoming of me. And then just, like, burnt it all with his laser eyes and fire breath. Prosecutor Von Karma, I'd like you to look at these desserts. The desserts were made for the contest semifinals. Don't you think these two have a particularly impressive design?
Just what are you getting at?
These two desserts were made by Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover. I wouldn't exactly call Mr. Gustavia's design skills praiseworthy, and yet for the semi-finals he was able to produce something comparable to Mr. Dover's. Furthermore, these two desserts have the exact same flavor.
Objection!
What are you trying to say? Are you not listening? I'm saying it's possible they collaborated with each other on their entries. Prosecutor Von Karma, please take a closer look at their desserts. At first glance, they may look completely different. But even though the designs are different, it's clear they were made by the same materials, or from the same materials. Yeah, I can see that.
Is that so?
The same flavor and composition. It's impossible to dismiss their similarity as coincidence. The very existence of these two desserts points a link between Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover. I don't know why. I feel like we keep getting further and further and further away from actually focusing on things that are important. Since you already know this much, I'll tell you the truth. Did Von Karma know about their collaboration?
However, what I'm about to say is not going to help your case at all.
I love his angry eyes. Their real connection.
You want to know about Gustavia and Dover's connection so badly, I'll tell you. Last night, when I interrogated Gustavia, he told me about his connections with Dover. And then I made this pose, and he was like, that's rad. And I'm like, I know, I'm pretty great. Until the day before the finals, they worked on their desserts together.
You knew about their cooperation all this time, didn't you? Why would you conceal the truth?
Objection! I love this pose. I would appreciate it if you didn't sully my reputation. Until I explain my points in court, I avoid giving away any unnecessary details. I was merely saving you the time.
How could he act like this and keep the truth from us? His concealment of the truth is something I simply cannot ignore.
You want to know about Gustavia and Dover's connection so badly, I'll tell you.
Last night when I interrogated Gustavia, he told me about his connection with Dover. Until the day before the finals, they worked on their desserts together. I'm debating if this is a press situation or something else. Dover sherbet was the most delicious part, but Liar's part was very salty. Until the day before the finals, they worked on their desserts together. Oh, yeah, okay, so this is what I was thinking. I was looking for the piece of evidence that proved it, is the fact that they have two different things that kind of taste different. Whereas, like, the Liar was super salty, but the sherbet was fine. Because there's no way they would just mess it up that badly and be like, oops, I made this completely out of salt. My bad.
Objection!
Oh, that little Santa in the background. He looks so angry. You say that Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover did not collaborate during the finals. That's strange. Delicia testified that Dover sherbet was most delicious. I don't say almost delicious, that'd be mean. Being a novice chef, I doubt he could have done all that by himself. Perhaps the two of them cooperated during the finals as well.
Defense attorney, how many times do I have to tell you? Delicia Scone's subjective opinion cannot be admitted as evidence.
There is still a chance that a novice chef could make something tasty. My wife is an amateur, yet her cooking rivals that of world-class chefs.
How is that not a subjective opinion? Moreover, even if you take this pharmacist's testimony to be true, it changes nothing. She also mentioned that a part of the sherbet was very salty, which means you can hardly call this an entry for the finals perfect. Oh. What, no more objections? Is there no way I can prove their collaboration? Mr. Edgeworth? What, boy? I'm busy. There's been something that's been bugging me. What is it? The desserts Mr. Dover made for the finals would have taken a long time to make, right? Indeed. They were frozen sculptures, after all. How could he have had the time to sculpt it after it was frozen? Let alone to help Mr. Gustavio with his design as well. The way I see it, just waiting for the sherbet to freeze would have used up all of his time. So how is he able to make those sherbet sculptures? Is one of them fake? Raymond, you may have a promising future after all. Thanks to you, I have noticed one more possibility. You are far more useful than Trucy going, I think that sounds pretty suspicious. I don't know, something sounds wrong with that. I don't know. Like being absolutely useless. That's right, Mr. Dover's sherbet, I keep saying Dovert. Dover's sherbet needed time to freeze properly. And the contest's time limit would not have been enough. The method Mr. Dover used to make this sherbet within the time limit was... It was prepared in advance, it was frozen on that day. They weren't desserts! Perhaps those sculptures weren't desserts to begin with. Okay, no, that's stupid. Glacia's teeth would have had to be amazingly strong to bite through that. In other words, this theory is impossible. Aw. Mr. Dover's sherbet need time to freeze. Okay, I prepared it in advance. That's the one then. The sherbet was prepared in advance. All he'd need to do was sculpt it. What are you mumbling about? Please excuse me. I finally realized your earlier view was correct. Huh? But Mr. Edgeworth? What are you doing? Oh, so you're finally admitting defeat. No. I'm admitting all I'm admitting to is the truth of one of your statements. Dover and Gustavia's collaboration lasted only until the day before the finals. It is exactly as you said, they only cooperated until the day before the finals. The sculptures in Mr. Dover's room were all made out of sherbet. Such an amount would most likely need to be left overnight to freeze. Which means Mr. Gustavia prepared Mr. Dover's sherbet in advance the day before. Ugh, that's right, so you realize Gustavia's cooperation ended the day before the finals. Then why did Mr. Dover not help Mr. Gustavia in return? The views of the dead are of no concern to me. It's a huge concern. What are you saying? If you aren't going to answer that, I'll need to get in touch with Mr. Gustavia himself. Or was it your interrogation not quite as thorough as you claim? You ingrate! You dare mock me? It was not my intention, but I do have a problem with your attitude. I want you to give us a clear reason why we can't speak to Mr. Gustavia in person. A clear reason? Gustavia and Dover's collaboration has no bearing on this case. You claim their collaboration is irrelevant. If Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover's relationship had turned sour, it could serve as a motive for murder. You're saying that Gustavia and Dover's collaboration was linked to the motive for the murder. If that were the case, why did he not conceal it? After all, we found out about this collaboration from Gustavia himself. If you really are a lawyer, show us evidence that gives us reason to suspect Gustavia. Only one of Mr. Gustavia's actions has been suspicious so far. Doubtless Von Karma already knows of this fact. This could be a trap by Von Karma. What's wrong, defense attorney? Not going to answer. You're acting like a child. No, I'm not. You're a child. But I mustn't back down now.
Mr. Gustavia sneaked into Mr. Dover's room. His reasons for this are currently unclear. But the very fact that he secretly entered the victim's room is reason enough to suspect him. If that's the extent of it, I can dispel those doubts. I knew it. Was it a trap after all? I was intending to save this for the courtroom, but I'll make a special exception. We wouldn't want to prolong the trial with unnecessary information, would we? Take a look at this. Aw, they both have children. They're in the same school, and one of them has one of his pastries. Oh, I see him. One of them has a little rose corsage. Parent Care Day. This is a photo of Gustavia and Dover and their sons. Family photo added to the court record. Gustavia entered Dover's room in order to steal this photo. To steal the photo? It seems her sons attended the same elementary school. Apparently, he thought that he'd be suspected if people found out that he and Dover were acquainted. Yes. Just like you're doing now. That makes me feel like garbage. There's nothing suspicious about Gustavia's actions. No further room for argument. He's still adamant on not letting us meet with Mr. Gustavia. I have an investigation to return to. I have no more time to waste on the likes of you. I love how he used that walking stick, but since you only see his waist up, you never see it in any of his animations. Curse that Von Karma, calling us a waste of time. What should we do, Mr. Edgeworth? At this rate, Master Jeff will be... Von Karma is busy? Of course. Why would he be so busy? Both the body and the murder weapon have been found, and he already has his suspect. The police should have more than enough evidence to prove Mr. Master's guilt. If that's the case, then why is Von Karma still investigating the crime scene? Mr. Edgeworth, is there something wrong? It seems I have been overlooking a matter of vital importance. Considering that he already has the evidence he needs to convict Mr. Master. I feel that Von Karma isn't as composed as he should be. He didn't even tell Detective Bad the full results of the investigation. Yeah. Von Karma's a bit on edge at the moment. He still hasn't received the autopsy report. Oh, that's what he's waiting around for. The one thing the Von Karma needs is the autopsy report. You cannot go into the courtroom without that. Furthermore, something vanished from the crime scene and we still don't know why. Detective Bad, please look at the crime scene carefully once more. The bloodstain that should have remained at the crime scene has disappeared. Ding. Definitely didn't get any reports about the bloodstain being cleaned up. Yeah, I know we heard this. The strangest thing we found wasn't in Mr. Master's room at all. It's a match. The blood in the fountain is Dover's. Mr. Dover's blood vanished from Mr. Master's room and somehow found its way into the fountain. What does this mean? Yes, logic connection. No autopsy. Wait. Wait, no. Let me go over there. Bloodstain disappeared. Blood in the water fountain. Watery blood. Water in the blood fountain. That is my conclusion. It was originally a fountain of blood, but we polluted it with water. Although the victim's blood wasn't found in Mr. Master's room. It was detected in the water fountain. There would be no need for the killer to conceal the bloodstains after the body was found. It's unnatural that only the bloodstains that were found with the body disappeared. Unless the body was moved, the blood would have still remained on the chocolate. Don't tell me. Someone removed the body and then erased the bloodstains? Oh, again. We're just going to do it again. Okay. No autopsy report. Was the body removed? So it's been tampered with. It's possible that the body was removed from the crime scene. And the autopsy report still has not arrived. Although we have a murder weapon and a suspect, we don't know much about the body. I've been investigating under the assumption that the body had been discovered. Perhaps this assumption was wrong from the very beginning. Why didn't Von Karma give Detective Bad the autopsy report? To understand that, yes, I must turn my logic around. My thinking shouldn't be, why is Von Karma hiding information about the body? But rather, what if Von Karma doesn't even have the information to begin with? What happens if I think of it like that? It's possible that the body wasn't removed by the police for an autopsy. It was moved and hidden by the real killer. Mr. Edgeworth, I've heard many dark rumors surrounding Von Karma. He's a prosecutor who forges evidence, fabricates testimonies, and makes backroom deals. Yeah, I've heard that too, but what does that have to do with this? I try to avoid judging others based on rumors. I didn't let those rumors influence my opinion on Von Karma, until today. It seems he's a man who would distort the truth. Distort the truth? You don't mean forgery? I do, and I can't allow him to get away with this. Oh boy. Hence the start of him getting on Von Karma's bad side. I must return to the prosecutor's office for now. Not a word to that attorney. Roger, he's right over there, though. Hold it! Hold it! Wow, I get to hold it so loud the entire room could hear me. What do you want, defense attorney? I want to know the truth that you've been hiding. Fool. Are you trying to mislead the police's investigation again? If you interfere with the investigation anymore, I'll be forced to reprimand you myself. Objection. Police. No. My objection is with you. Oh, with you. Not like, I'd said that with you like, my objection is cooperative, but it is not. It is towards you in an opposing manner. Isn't a prosecutor's job to ensure justice for criminals? What are you saying? I have no time to debate the job of a prosecutor with you. However, I will tell you one thing. My job is to ensure all those I prosecute are found guilty. Before the perfect proof, there can be no room for doubt. And to find that perfect proof, you would even stoop to forgery? Huh, I was wondering what you were going on about. You intend to accuse me of forgery, don't you? Yes. And it's for that reason. You did not allow Detective Bad to investigate. What do you mean? The real reason Detective Bad wasn't investigating was not so that he could keep an eye on us. It was to hide the fact that you never found the body. What? They never found the body? Wow, that's a huge thing to be able to hide somehow. You cretins! You will cease with these ludicrous accusations. I will not tolerate any further insults. In that case, let us verify the body. If you do, we will have evidence that shows whether I am right or not. The burden of proof falls on you, defense attorney. I have no reason to comply with your baseless conjecture. You must have noticed it too. The lack of bloodstains at the crime scene. So why did the blood vanish? And more importantly, where did it go? Foolishness. Why would anyone erase just the blood in the chest that contained the body? Yes, it's exactly right. If the body has been found there, the disappearing bloodstains would have no meaning at all. However, what if the body was already gone? To erase the traces of the body being there, one would have to get rid of the bloodstains as well. Why make such a fuss over those bloodstains? It seems like a trivial detail to me. Pose. Or are you saying that you can show me where those bloodstains went? In court, everything must be said with evidence. Isn't that right, Von Karma? In that case, I'll show you the evidence supporting my claim. Which piece of evidence shows where the blood in Mr. Master's room went? Which piece of evidence? The only thing I have relating to blood is this. Dover's blood was found in the fountain water. Oh, yeah. I was just looking for the thing that presented it. There were traces of the victim's blood found in the fountain. Traces of Mr. Master's chocolate were also found in this very fountain. In other words, the blood was washed down the stream, which then flowed into the fountain. All of this points to one possibility. After the body was removed, someone erased the bloodstains. Gah. I love how this case is setting up some proper hatred from Von Karma towards Gregory. Because Von Karma's so obsessed with perfection, and Gregory is the first one to even put a mark on that. Von Karma, where was the body really found? If you really found the body, you should be able to answer. You? How do you know this information? How do you know the results of the water composition test on the fountain? Because I allowed them to investigate? Bad. Always a thorn in my side. From here on out, I will not allow you to associate with... Wait, any further with this case. It's not like you were letting me do much anyway. Von Karma, you still haven't answered my question. Or are you admitting to the fact that you didn't find the body after all? You say I never found the body. Where is your evidence? He's never going to confess. I have nothing further to say to you. Gregory Edgeworth, this matter will be decided in court. We'll see just how well your logic holds up there. It's like some terribly bad evil laughter on his way out. Von Karma, I know your methods are wrong, and your hair is stupid. My hair is not stupid. I promise without fail, I will expose the truth you've hidden. Oh, okay, I'm leaving now, bye. Wait, why are you going towards the elevator? That's not the exit. Okay, whatever. Detective Bad, I'm sorry, it's because you let me investigate that. No. This was bound to happen. Sooner or later. This is also the first time I have been restricted in my investigation. The theory that they never found the body sounds pretty close to the mark. That, I will make clear in court. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know. Even though I'm no longer in charge of the case. But then, though I'm very sorry about this, I have one more favor to ask of you. Hey, what are you guys whispering about? I want to know too. This will be my trump card in court. The information I've gathered up till now should be enough to prove Mr. Master's innocence. But, if all else fails, I have this ready. Your trump card? You'll see at the trial. Wow, I get to be at the trial too? Of course. You're my assistant after all. I'll be an ace attorney too next year. Von Karma will never beat the two of us. Wait, you're gonna be an ace attorney at 19? Did you not even have to go to school? It's just like, I've watched you for a year, that's good enough. Right. Although I hope to clear Mr. Master's name before you become a lawyer. If Von Karma is to be my opponent, he'll want the trial ended in a day. That's right. We'll have to serve Master Jeff as fast as we can. After all, this is you we're talking about. I'm sure you'll beat him, you'll beat Von Karma. Jeff Master alone in a dark cell, arrested on false charges. I must expose Von Karma's lies if I am to save him. Flashback over. To be continued. Woo! I think we're getting to the end of the case just about, but I think we still have some dead ends to clear up on Edgeworth's half. Very excited to get to that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm super sorry about the audio issue I ran into this episode. I've been trying to get back into recording, and because of my new recording setup, everything has changed. Everything. So, I do dearly apologize for the lack of audio for, like, the first 40 minutes of this episode. I'm probably just going to replace it with some generic Ace Attorney soundtracks, because I don't want to re-record this entire thing over again. I had to do that once in Edgeworth Investigations 1, and it was just the worst, and it was so awkward and boring to watch. I heard from people. So, if you liked the video, please leave a like. I'd really appreciate it. I do really enjoy this series, just because I've been having trouble getting around to it. I've been very, I think I've caught some sort of sickness at this moment, but I've also had audio problems. I've had other problems. I've had time restraints, just like everything trying to keep me away. So if you like the video, please leave a like. And if you want to become a member of the Dust Brigade, just click subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Raiden out.